That is the G30, which is available with the 454. Even though it got worse gas mileage than the diesels, I'd still choose the 454 over the gas 454 over either diesel. I mean, the most powerful diesel option makes 155 horsepower at 3,500 RPM and 285 horsepower at, or 285 pounds-feet of torque at 2,000 RPM. The 454, by comparison, makes 230 horsepower at 3,600 RPM and 385 pounds-feet of torque at 1,600 RPM. So you got a lot of low-end torque there. And match that up with a locking rear differential, you got yourself one hell of a van. And I'd put some nice alloy rims on there, and I'd custom order mine. This is if I lived in 1993 and had money. I actually do like the way this looks better than the Express. Has like a the design has more character, I think. It's the original. It's one of the original shaggin' wagons. Though I do like the front end of the Dodge Ram vans just a little bit better. The Dodge and the Chevy full-size vans I like. The Ford, the 79 to 91 Ford Econoline is okay, but I like the Chevy and the Dodge better. I mean, they're all good vans, but I like the Chevy and the Dodge better. And it sucks you couldn't. I forget when they stopped offering this in a stick. That would have been sweet. A small block Chevy with a 4-speed manual and a posi in one of these. Probably get considerably better gas mileage too. There's the full size. And again, strangely enough, in the 15-passenger version, rear air was not available. Of course, front air conditioning is going to be available, but no rear air. I think it's because it interfered with the like the passenger, the very back passengers would be bumping their heads on it if they had it back there. But I mean, in a van that big, I mean back then in '93 they had R12, and the AC in these vans I've heard is pretty powerful. But in something that big with that many freaking windows, I don't see why they wouldn't offer rear air. You could get rear air in the 12-passenger version, but not the 15-passenger. And that's the fully loaded Beauville, whatever the hell you want to call it. The Blazer. Gotta love the S Blazer. That looks like a mall cop truck. It even says VPC Security Patrol on it. Very nice truck. It would be nice to have a 2-wheel drive S10 Blazer with automatic air and the CPI V6 and a posi rear. And the 2-wheel drives, I believe, actually have better towing capacity than the 4-wheel drive for some reason. Maybe it's because there's like less weight bias on the front or something. But yeah, that is a nice truck. I swear to God, a friend of mine in California. In fact, he was like my best friend in California. I haven't heard from him since 1998 because we moved and we kind of lost contact. I was still on good terms with him when he left, when we moved away, but we just moved and we fell out of contact. He was a nice guy, though. His mom drove that exact Blazer, except obviously it didn't have the gumball light on the roof and the security patrol thing on the side. But that, my best friend, one of my former best friend's mother had that exact same Blazer, except it was a 94. It was a white 2-wheel drive Blazer with a gray cloth interior. It had all the power options. It had the tape deck, and that was a nice truck. I remember I looking forward to because we had like a schedule where 1 week I would go over to his house and 1 week it was every Thursday. 1 week I would go over to his house and 1 week he would come over to mine. I always looked forward to going over to his house because it would mean I would get to ride in that Blazer. And often his older sister let me ride in the front. Normally the older sibling gets the front seat. I got to ride in the front. That was a nice Blazer, and I'll bet, based on what I've seen, I'll bet that 94 Blazer had R12 in it too. And it was loaded. It had power windows and locks. Obviously air conditioning. I mean, it was Northern California, so air conditioning was probably rarely used, but it definitely had air. But that was the exact Blazer my friend's mom had. It had those same wheels and everything. And it was white. Frost white. And I don't know if it had power mirrors or not. And it had the bucket seats. It didn't have the bench seat. It had the bucket seats. What a nice truck that was. But yeah, here you can get the CPI, which is one of the best damn engines ever made. I mean, the EFI one's good too. I just prefer to have the CPI because it has more power. And I don't know why the two-door Blazer, full-size Blazer is listed in here. The venerable 350 V8. We haven't even scratched the surface yet. This is going to be a long-ass video. Suburban. That I can see being offered in the commercial truck thing. That's a nice vehicle. You have like a if you have like a high-end ski lodge or something, which this one looks like that's where this one's being depicted. Again with the HD 350 having less horsepower. And here's the commercial ones. And again, you could get some of these vehicles with 456 or 410, 456, and even 513 gear ratios. I mean, these vehicles were not designed for speed, and they probably did not go fast at all, but they could do some serious hauling. Looking at the clock on my wall oven over there, and this is probably going to be over 30 minutes long. I mean, the last video I did on one of my brochures doing a complete walkthrough of it, it was almost 30 minutes. I didn't expect this to be this long because it doesn't have as much information as the other three. But what's weird, some of these have the there was like a typo in there somewhere, and I'll show you momentarily. Some of these are listed as having a 4.3 liter 262 cubic inch gas V8 with the same horsepower and torque as the V6 as an option, and I think that, or is the standard option, I think that is a typo. I see a lot of these still in use around here. The high cube steel box van, that one. Yeah, as I was saying, I still see a lot of these driving around. Saw one at a swap meet, I believe last year, in July at the car show. And that one I could tell just by looking at it is an air conditioning and radio delete. If it were just used for short trips, I could probably put up with not having air conditioning or a radio. But if I'm a person employed to drive a vehicle like this for long distances, I want air conditioning and at least an AM/FM radio. But it's still a good truck nonetheless. Air conditioning or no air conditioning, properly maintained, those freaking small block V8s will last forever. And you can get it with the locking rear. Standard four-wheel ABS. Even stripped down, it comes with all these safety features that were options in many other vehicles back in '93. Get that with the 454, that would be a sweet vehicle. There's the slightly bigger one. And this is basically a, it has the body of the G-Van, but it's mounted on a, but it's based on this P30 forward control chassis, like the big step vans. But I'm pretty sure you could order it with air conditioning and power windows and all that fancy stuff. See, the hood tilts forward like that. And I'll be right back. And I have just 50-something seconds left on this memory stick. Now it's down to 44, 43, 42. See how much we can cram in there. Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. That's the step van. That's what this is based on. This is based on this. Alright, I'll be back. All four of my brochures. Okay, I pulled my 8 GB memory stick out of my SLR to finish up this video. That's where we left off. And this wasn't available with the diesel for some reason, but the 454 is better. Yes, the gas mileage is worse, but when you're buying something like this as a work vehicle, gas mileage is probably one of the last things you care about. So yeah, it's probably better that they only offered the 454, because in terms of sheer power and towing ability, the 454 kicks the Detroit Diesel's butt. The Detroit Diesel's a good engine, but I've read that they had their share of problems, and compared to the gas engines and the diesels of today, they're underpowered. Still a good engine, but 93 was the first year for the 6.5. This one you can get with, oh, that's just the 6.2. That made its debut in the Hummers and the CCUVs, the M1009s, whatever the hell the code name was for those military Chevy pickups and Blazers. Let's focus in here a little bit. In that styling, that front end styling there with the grille and all, it looks the same as a step van from the 70s or 80s. But apparently it has more, it has a more durable build or something. Something about aluminum coated plywood. And yeah, there it is right there. 4.3 liter V8. That's a typo. And same with this one. And that one, the front end is reminiscent of the Astrovan. And that's the P30 forward control chassis. And I cannot tell if that is a it says it's an automatic. It doesn't say you can get a standard transmission. It looks like a stick shift, but that's an automatic. 4-speed electronically shifted automatic. Reminds me of a UPS truck almost. And I can't tell what engine that is. But yeah, that basically what the Chevy van P30 HD base thing is. That's basically that body on this chassis. And I don't know if air conditioning was an option on those. I think there were like aftermarket deals, but I don't think air conditioning was an option on that particular one. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then there's all the gear ratio options again. And I do have the 3 other brochures. And there's the back. So my collection for this year of Chevy truck brochures is complete. And I actually looked up the 94 ones on eBay, and from what I could tell, they were not as good. This one seems to have the best information, and that's kind of dog-eared there. And this one's definitely seen better days. I mean, it's in good condition inside, but the cover's being held on with Scotch tape. But as long as I can still read it and it stays together, I really don't care. I'm not planning to sell it and make money. And if it does fall apart, I believe I do have another one lying around this house somewhere that my dad actually has from when he bought his Blazer back in '93. But I have not seen that in almost a decade. I imagine it's around the house somewhere, but I haven't seen it in almost a decade. And I also have the '92 Dodge pickups brochure that my dad got when he bought his new Dodge Dakota. And I have a 1990 Camry brochure. I have not seen the Chevy or the Dodge one in probably about a decade, but I just saw the Camry one about 4 years ago. So that is probably still buried in my bedroom closet somewhere. And I probably have a 96 Pathfinder one around here somewhere too. Alright. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. This is going to be one long freaking video. I believe I've been filming for almost an hour. I don't know how long the video is going to be. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Out.
This has been a Stamped Octagon production.